Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the first review of 2024 and it's a little bit of a biased review because it's a Wilson product and you all know I'm sponsored by Wilson, so let's just get that elephant out of the room anyway. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be honest about my review and about the product, because that's how I've always based my channel on, is about honesty. Now, in order to review this today, I wanted a little bit of a help, because by the time this goes out, maybe I'll be an amateur golfer. I think it's only right that I give you a professional opinion. I'm bigging him up now and he's shitting himself. I give you a professional opinion about these clubs. So I've also got my friend Jeb, who I'll introduce very soon, who's going to also test these clubs. But I'm going to break him in easy, and I'm going to put some nice chunky forgiving clubs in his hand to have a test of and get his opinion of. And this is the new Wilson Staff Dynapower Iron. Now I've got 5 to pitching wedge, but we're only going to test the 5 and the 8 and the pitching wedge today, and kind of give you a bit of an honest review about them. Now into 2024, my reviews are going to be a bit different. I am not going to be talking about tech and distances and launch and spin and all that stuff that you probably don't really care about. I am going to talk about the product, how good it is, what it feels like, and if it's something I think you should get into. So before we do test these, let me introduce Jeb. Scoot over. That's you there, Dave. There you are.
Hello, here I am.
So this is Jeb. He's been a friend of mine for a few years now. If you look back on his channel, which there is a link in the description, he came down to me for a gapping session probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
It's about that. It's probably the worst video I've ever put out as well.
Oh, okay.
A great facility, just my video. I think I've just done a like a quick video. What would they call it?
It was a time lapse.
Time lapse, yeah. And it was
it was a
terrible.
40-minute time lapse
of me just shanking it. I remember I shanked it loads.
A lot, yeah. So Jeb's one of the trainee professionals here. He's in year 1, and we are at St Mellion. So a big thank you to St Mellion and Jeb for allowing me to come here to film this using their range, because facilities for me are a little bit scarce to be able to use. So like I said, Jeb is in year 1 as a PGA Pro. He has got his own YouTube channel. There is a link in the description. Please go over and subscribe and watch those 45-minute time-lapse crap videos. We really appreciate it.
45 minutes of time lapse, 2 days of filming.
So now he is starting to do reviews. He's a really good golfer. Turned pro off
1.9. So
a legitimate 1.9 as well.
Bad.
Not quite like my 4 that everyone tells I cheated to get down to. So we're going to review these today. Looking forward to hitting these.
I am indeed, yeah. I'm a big fan of Wilson myself. I game the Wilson wedges and putters, so yeah, looking forward to seeing what the 2024 is going to bring. Yeah, chunky, but
I think these are going to be power bats.
Yeah, no,
I don't even know what
are.
the loft is, and do you know what? I don't care what the loft is. This is all about what we think it is and who we think these are for.
Indeed, yeah.
Because I think these aren't designed
me and you.
These aren't designed for me and you, but they'll probably come in quite handy. I'm going to start with a pitching wedge. Now, my bladed pitching wedge goes about 125. We've pinged the 100 at 97 yards, so it's not far off. So I'll be interested to see where these goes. Like I said, these are going to be stronger lofted. This is probably going to be about a 29-ish to 28 degree 7 iron. So these are going to be probably a club and a half longer anyway. But the idea of these clubs is that all the weight's at the bottom. So the aid launch,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So the aid launch, so for that slower swing speed, they can get the ball in the air and they can carry it a bit further. So
Indeed.
I'm going to hit one at my speed, and then I'm going to hit one at not my speed. That's the straight.
Yeah, nice. Good start.
Probably somewhere around 125, so it actually went the distance, which is kind of nice. I'll tell you what they don't feel like though. They don't feel chunky. Loads of offset, which is obviously going to help with those right misses for amateur golfers, but they don't look as chunky as some of the more game improvement irons I tested last year.
Yeah, nice. How's that high launch you're talking about?
Bring speed down a bit. Will they still go up in the air? It's so easy to hit. And what I like about it is the top line, when you come and have a look at it, doesn't look, you know, you can get some clubs that are like that thick. This actually looks, if you look down at it, like a little bit like a Mizuno JPX.
Oh yeah,
If you've ever played them? I used to play them years ago. And it looks just like it. And what I like about it is the difference in colour. So you've got this sort of stainless steel here, which is chromed, I suppose you could call it, rather than stainless. And then the actual hitting area is like more satin coloured. And it's got this white line at the bottom here, which really helps you square that club face up. So if you're a person who's got a pre-shot routine, and I've spoke about this quite a few times, about lining up the shots properly, that line is going to help you line the ball up really, really well. Let's see how Jeb gets on.
Yeah, like you said, Lee, definitely a nice bit of real estate down at the ball. I love that white line. It reminds me of the ping. Ping always had that white line, didn't they? And I've got to say, it does look really good. But yeah, not overly offensive. There's quite a lot of offset there. I mean, I don't particularly love the offset. For me, I just naturally think this is going to go left. But yeah, not too offensive considering they're the game improvement irons, you would say, in that category. Yeah, they're really quite nice. And like you said, actually, the stainless, or the sort of stainless steel against the brush steel, gives a nice bit of deception down at the ball. So similar to you, I'm about 135 my pitch and wedge in my shot.
Oh, big boy.
We'll see. He's downwind, so the ball looks like he's going to get knocked out in the air a little bit. So let's see how we get on.
Nice shot.
A little bit left of target. But again, I feel like I have to fight that on the course. I think it's going to go left. Not too clicky. Normally big irons are quite clicky and quite loud. Quite a nice feel off the face. I mean, that wasn't the best strike, but nice enough. There you go.
Striking it well. Lovely draw shot.
So that was buttoned, no doubt about that. It's still getting that draw. For me, I swing over the top a little bit, so that sort of, sometimes I can get the pulley shot. So an offset for me is a bit scary. However, going back to the feel, they feel great, to be fair, don't they? You know, for a big chunky blade, sorry, not blade, or big chunky offset cabbage.
That's
blade.
another review, the blades, Joe.
Yeah. I'm talking about them because I'm nervous. Right, let's start one up the right hand side, see if it comes back a bit.
You managed to fade that one.
Yeah, that was like a dead straight shot. But yeah, no, overall, really impressed. I think the overall look of them, not too offensive. I think a lot of golfers from good standard all the way up to a really high handicap will be pleasantly surprised, Lee. I think they're good clubs.
So now we're going to move on to the 8 iron, and this is where I think you'll see, and I don't know, because like I said, I'm not looking at specs this time, I'm all about what I think the club's about, and I think looking at this, the offset is a little bit more than it was before. So I think as we're going to go higher in the lofts, or lower in the lofts, we're going to go with more offset, which is probably about right, because it wants to stop that right shot, because the average golfer, your main average golfer, loses the ball to the right. That's what this offset's for. It's to help you from stop doing that. But I think, like Jeb said, they don't look offensive. Sometimes when you get to clubs like this, you can see the back of the club sticking out, and it kind of puts me off. But with this, I'm not getting that. Certainly not at the 8 iron anyway.
Great shot, mate.
Well, I reckon that went probably about 170 yards.
Yeah. I know we're downwind, but it's just, yeah, they are power bats.
Like you said, you're not getting, and we're using, let's be honest, we're using range balls, which always click anyway, more than a sort of soft sort of Pro V1 type ball would. You're not getting that sound. You certainly don't feel the clickiness through the club.
There it is. That's the best. That's certainly the best one. Great shot.
I gained these.
You and me both.
And that's the point. Although we say these are for possibly amateur golfers, your high handicap golfers are there to help you. If you're struggling with your game, you won't be after a round with these, I don't think. See if we can hit a draw.
Beautiful.
So easy to hit.
I mean, that's free straight down the middle, straight down the back.
Like that 150, right?
Yeah. No,
it's effortless.
Lovely
Absolutely
dispersion.
Effortless. And I don't get that with my blade. And you know, the difference is, I think the workability of those clubs, blades and things, is there for the better player. But if you just want to hit straight shots and not be flashy trying to hit all these fancy draws and stuff, these are perfect. Let's have another one down there. And I didn't really get hold of that one.
Yeah, like you said, Lee, there's probably a fraction more offset on this 8 iron than the pitch and wedge. But I think going back to the aesthetics of it, the stainless steel from the sort of hosel all the way down to the hill, it kind of gives you an optical illusion almost that you can't really see that offset because it's so shiny. It kind of you can't really notice it. I know it sounds a bit silly, but yeah, no, it's a good looking club. There's plenty of head there, so let's try and get one down there. Lee's showing me how to do it.
No pressure now, Jeb. Oh, there's the left.
That's the left I worry about.
But for me, as a fader of the golf ball, all that's done has straightened it up. Whereas you're a bit of a drawer of the golf ball. For someone like you, you're going to overdraw it.
100%.
And you're going to worry about that snap hook.
Are these suited for someone who draws the ball? Probably not. I mean, for me, I'm working with a bit more of a draw these days, so I know I have to sort of start things just slightly right of target anyway. So subconsciously, I'm thinking I've got to start this right. At that time, I started it almost straight and pulled it left. So let's try and get one out there a little bit right. Let's go for that 200 marker in the distance there.
With an 8-iron. Go on then.
8-iron. Oh, that was horrible. See, it's skinny, but there's this front and back dispersion on that. It's probably not a lot of difference.
So, just on that basis, and this is where these clubs are phenomenal for people who don't strike the ball properly, or as often as the better player was.
Yeah.
You practically thin that.
Yeah,
I've
hit that about halfway up the ball.
And it's gone a pretty decent distance,
height,
and it's gone up in the air, and all that is because at the bottom of this club is all the weight. All the weight is down the bottom. It's got these little speed pocket things on the bottom, and all that is designed to do is for if you catch it a little bit thin, or if you've got that slow swing speed, all that weight at the bottom will help the ball get up in the air, and that last shot was the perfect example of it.
It is about -27 in the UK, but that's one excuse.
Flattened it.
Yeah, that's as good as I could hit it, but I am just fighting this left. Listen, you're going to have to obviously think about this when you go into it. Maybe you could get a combo set and sort of 5 or 6 iron would be ideal in this, and then you move up to a CB head. Obviously you'll have to work out loft-ins, but for me, it's a great looking club. It sounds pretty nice actually. It sounds powerful, but it doesn't sound clicky. It just sounds solid. Let me hit one more, see if I can actually get one on target. I'm just missing target left at the moment. Let's see if I can get one going a little bit right with that draw.
There you go, great shot.
There you go.
Just a subtle draw.
But again, not the best strike, but straight down the target. Yeah, really impressive, like it.
And finally we're going to move on to the 5-stroke, probably 3-iron. Yeah. Let's be honest, by the time we looked at lofts, it's probably going to be about a 3-iron. But this is where these clubs, and I'm not sure if you can buy them individually or whether you have to buy them in a set, but if you're a player as good as me and Jeb, close brackets, open brackets,
we can edit.
You know, we can edit videos to make us look good. But if you can, you know, I am now a 4 handicap, hopefully. Jeb did turn pro 2, but we can still benefit from clubs like this at any level, because for a long iron to have the forgiveness factor, for the ease of use, and for it to be offset, because most people, even at our level, will fade those higher lofted. Most people at our level will sort of start fading those 3, 4, 5 irons. This can straighten them up. But the one thing I like about these Dynapowers is they've got the Wilson staff logo on them. Now, always before, the lesser irons always used to just be branded Wilson, I believe.
Yeah, really good.
Now they've brought them into the staff, where the staff always used to be for the better player, like the blades of CBs. So they brought that into that, and that just gives this a little bit of, I don't know, like prestige, I suppose you could say.
A little bit premium to it.
A little bit more premium, but you're not getting old Wilson sort of standards. It definitely looks like a staff model standard, definitely. But 5-iron. This for me would be something that would replace my Wilson 3-iron hybrid
driver
utility iron thing.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Which would probably be around about a 210 club. So that's what this would go in. And I sometimes struggle to hit that because it's a little bit longer.
That's the hardest shot for most golfers.
And I will fade those all day long. So it'd be interesting to see if this straightens up.
He's come to play today, ladies and gentlemen. Great shot, mate.
I should really stop playing golf more often and just hit. I should become a range pro, actually.
Buy yourself some land.
Yeah, and I didn't hit that pretty well. I kind of felt like I hit that quite chunky, but what it did do is got up in the air. It probably knocked off about 10-15 yards off of where I think it has the potential to go. Let's see if we can bottom one. There it is.
Great shot.
And there's that nice high fade that I like. In and around the 200 where I was wanting it to be. And with a range ball you can probably knock 10-15% off of.
Yeah, definitely. It's around about 10 to 12%, I think they normally say on these balls.
But what it is easier to hit than a utility iron. All that real estate and forgiveness, and with it being a bit of a shorter length as well, definitely gives me more control.
A little bit open club face, but
Yeah.
good strike again.
You know what, I can't fault them. I think for what they are and for who they're designed for, if you're the sort of person that's looking for that forgiving golf club, that bit of chunky club, that help, but you want something that looks a bit more premium and doesn't look so much of that sort of like, I don't know, high handicap golfer club, then I think Wilson have absolutely smashed it this year with the Dynapower, because looks wise it's great, feel it's great, doesn't sound clicky. It's really hard to even criticise it, and I'm not just saying that because I'm sponsored by Wilson. That's why I've got Jeb involved as well, because I feel that second opinion needed to be there. But for me, I think this is a spot-on golf club for every amateur golfer.
So just echoing what Lee said, the aesthetics of this, all through the irons, are really beautiful. I've got to say the Wilson logo as well is a nice touch. Bang on with what you said actually, it just gives it that sort of that initial premium feel, just even on the shelf appeal, but it's really good. Nice colourway as well, it's quite simple. It reminds me a little bit of like you said, the Mizunos, the sort of chunky Mizunos with that little bit of weighting at the back, nice bit of cavity. Right, 5 iron, this is typically where I start to come a little bit unstuck, even in my game. Long irons, I hit down on the ball a little bit, so I de-loft most of my clubs. That's why I'm out driving Lee by about 20 yards today, but don't know about that. Right, yeah, it looks lovely. There's loads of club face, plenty, from heel to toe. It's a big old club face. For me, like, I would look at this off the tee, like you said. I don't really game a 3-wood. I reckon I could get this out there at 230, 240 off the tee. And most of the courses around the area.
Downwind on a really sunny, bouncy day.
On a cold night in Stoke. But no, yeah, it's a great looking club, really is. They feel good, but this is the area where most people, most amateurs, higher handicappers will need something like this, but tend not to. We still love the blades and everything like that. No matter who you are, if you're a golfer, you still love that blade look. Where we should be going into something like this, something more combo.
Ego gets in the way.
Ego definitely gets in the way. So I don't get why us as golfers still are like that. But all right, let's hit one.
Higher than 10 feet off the ground, please, Jeff.
Yeah, let's see if I can hit a nice stinger. Oh, I've got the early extension, low stingers in the bag today.
That's why he says 230, because about 10 foot off the ground. The ground's going to be rock hard in the summer, and it's going to run 150 yards. Sorry, did I say something?
I mean, to be fair, you're spot on.
Carry the pitching wedge further than that.
Low bullets. Low bullet. I don't know how I'm struggling to get this in the air, but that's me. That's not the club. It feels really solid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to say, it just feels a good bit of equipment, and I've hit them both pretty badly. Right, let me see if I can get one in the air. See if I can.
Put a bit further forward in your stance, Joe.
Yeah, let's see if I can make a golf swing today.
Open my club face. So there we go, that is the Wilson Dynapower Hour. Final verdict for me is an absolutely superb club, designed for anybody. You don't have to, when you're a low handicapper, play blades like I do to feed my ego. You can play clubs like this, and arguably I'll probably play better. I think all in all, anybody could play these, and I think anybody would enjoy playing them. They don't feel chunky, they don't look chunky when you're looking down at the ball. Sound and feel wise are just up there with anything I've played, really.
Yeah.
My biggest fear would be the offset for a draw bias player, but like we've already said, those of you who are amateurs normally lose it to the right anyway, so it will probably straighten you up. Unlike Jeb, I would only use the 4 or 5. I don't think these would combo very well purely because of the loft aspect. I think he would
definitely.
go 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'd have to.
I'll have about 3 or 4 6 irons in my back.
Yeah. So it'd be very difficult to combo. But I think if you can one off by a 4 or 5 iron, I think it would definitely work for someone who's a better player, just to put one in at the top end, to give that bit of forgiveness off the tee, and maybe 200 yards in.
Yeah, definitely.
All in all, it's a big thumbs up from me, and probably a big thumbs up from Jeb as well.
Totally agree. I think they're a great looking club. Not for me, maybe personally, but all in all, great club. Big, nice sole, plenty of real estate. Thumbs up from me too.
So if you've liked that video and you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do look down below, click that subscribe button, and also give it a thumbs up if you've liked it, and a thumbs down if you thought it was absolute rubbish. I don't mind either way. Also, big thank you to Jeb for letting me use St Mellion and also coming on the video. Again, link in the description to Jeb's channel. Please show him some love and go across and subscribe and watch that time lapse and comment on it. Let me know what you thought about it.
I think it's still on there. Or have I deleted it?
Well, all in all, thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.